Welcome to the Chrome Cruisers. Today we are putting on a chrome air intake. But first, before we do that, we need to drill holes for the PCV valve. And there we are. I drilled all the holes. Now we just have to install it. First, before we put the new air intake on, we have to put vacuum plugs on all the vacuum hoses. You see here they already plugged off a lot of the emissions vacuum hoses, but they just put a screw there and it doesn't really look nice. So I'm going to pull this off and put on a proper vacuum cover. Then we just take the right size one and we just slide it over. Unfortunately, I do not know what type of vacuum hose this was originally, but they had already blocked it off, so I'm just capping it off with a proper cap. You throw that away. This thing here is called a thermal vacuum switch. And what it does is it's supposed to turn on the emissions systems once the truck reaches operating temperatures. But since I don't have emissions systems in the first place, there's no point of this hose being here, so I'm going to remove it and cap it off. Now I can start to take all of the hoses out. There, and we just throw this away. There, now I can just grab this hose down here, another part of the emission system. Grab that hose, pull it off. Oh, and now it's stuck. But now I can just take the plug and plug up that hole, and then clean up the rest later. This is the positive crankcase valve. We need to take it off so that we can take off the air intake, but this thing will have to reattach. That's why we made the hole in the new one. And now I just have to come in here and take those two bolts off, and then we can take this old air intake off of its housing. Alright, and with the old air intake off and all the vacuum ports sealed up, we can now take this adapter off. During the installation, I realized that the rod for screwing in the top was not centered correctly. So what I did is I jerry-rigged it and I bent the rod and then tried to bend it upward so that it could go onto the top. And that's why the wing nut, well, the fancy wing nut, does not go on straight. It goes on sideways. So I just screw it down as tight as I can so that it doesn't wiggle and move. You can see that's a lot tighter than it was last time. So just give it a snug and that's it. And here is the completed project. Look at that chrome air intake. It just looks gorgeous. You can see that the chrome air intake is all installed and it looks secure. You can see it's sealed properly. It doesn't look tipped at any direction. But the next step is to just install the PCV valve. Here we have the gasket that we need to put on so it keeps an airtight circulation. Now it's time to start her up. Quick thing before you go. If you want, just leave a comment and tell me how you liked it when I had the music playing and wasn't talking, or if you'd prefer to hear my voice and not have the music, just let me know what you think.